Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Morning Leap session for Friday, March the 16th, 2018. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we'll get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog, this is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the regular trading session. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobiak Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results in any trades that you see, and Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. All right, so taking a look at yesterday we opened auctioned in range, came down, tested the lower side of this distribution, found buyers, came back up and chopped, and then tried to break above the mid from the prior day, failed, came back down, chopped some more, and then we had that move down to the over underline at 48.25. They pushed through a couple times, but then we had the higher low, and they rotated it back into balance. We've just been in this tightening mode the last few sessions as we are compressing, getting ready for another breakout. You can see that here. Where we're back inside of this balance here, and we've engulfed the breakout. Our volume area has shifted from the 54.75 up into the 92.50. More importantly, you can see here that these 2 days, these 2 down days, the microcomposite in the 5-day profile that we've been in has been up in the 89, in the 89 area. And then with the volume that we put in the 54 range, our microcomposite VPOC has shifted down to this 54 area. So very important for us to hold this 54. I'm going to be using 48. 48.50, 48 area as my over underline, because that puts us below the value area and then back into probably a free fall down towards this 27.30 and possibly even coming back into this microcomposite VPOC on the longer time frame, which is down here at 27.1850. But let's just take a step back, take a look at the news first. We had building permits and housing starts came out at 8:30 Eastern. They did not beat. It was a bit of a miss on both of them. Manufacturing sales in Canada came out lower than expected as well. In 25 minutes, we have the capacity utilization, industrial production, manufacturing production, and then 10 o'clock we've got JOLTS jobs, 5-year inflation, Michigan consumer sentiment, and expectation. So we do have a fair amount of news today. We've got the rig count at 1 o'clock. We've got ECRI weekly at 10:30. So there is quite a bit of news, and of course, there's always with this White House headline news. Apparently, it sounds like there's going to be a couple more firings or resignations today out of the White House, namely McMaster and Kelly. So let's just take a look at the macro to micro really quickly. I always like to start my day. I do this as a daily routine. I start with a monthly simple candlestick chart with a 9 EMA, 20 SMA. I'm looking at where we are in the trend. Is the trend strong? Do we got good slope and separation on the 9 and the 20? Is price paralleling the 9, or are we coming down and challenging the trend or violating the trend? by breaking below the 9 and the 20. Monthly, very strong. We do have an inside month so far, but we do have a couple weeks left. But for the most part, we are holding above the 9 EMA. The trend doesn't even get challenged on the monthly until we get below the 2640.75. Going to the weekly, you can see we are compressing, but we do have still an upward trend, although the trend is weakening. So I'm watching the 2703 area closely as a possible trend change on the weekly. Going to the daily, you can see same thing. We've got this symmetrical triangle forming, and we're compressing for another breakout. And this breakout is likely to release to the downside simply with the last few days. So again, watch that 54 area and 48 area. If we break below, this thing could release to the downside, and we have to start thinking about critical mass. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Going to the intraday 4 hour, you can see that we are below the 9 and the 20, so we could be seeing a possible change of trend on the intraday time frame. Going to the 30-minute, you can see we've just basically been going sideways and compressing. Actually, pretty tight range, a 9.5 point range so far in the Globex. I mean, that sounds big, but with the size of the ranges that we've having, 9 is actually a pretty tight range right now. We are holding above the 9 and the 20, so basically, we're in balance right now. You can see that on the Globex. Globex inventory is pretty much about 85% net short. But if you look at the last, 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions, we've basically been in this tight balance, and the microcomposite VPOC has shifted down to 54, and you can see that the VPOCs from all these sessions are all around the 54, although last night is a double distribution with the LVN at that 54, and the VPOC has shifted up and has just shifted again. So, we are seeing a possibility of accepting price higher. I was surprised we did not get a move down off of the weak housing news. We actually made a move up and made a new overnight high. So taking a look at moving our numbers over, overnight high is 60.50. Our overnight low is down at 50.25. Our VPOC is not likely, it might shift down a little bit back to 57, but right now it's at 57.50. And we have that LVN at 54. It's right at the 5-day microcomposite VPOC with yesterday's naked VPOC. So our close from yesterday is at 55. Anything below the 56, I'm looking for the 55 and 54 and 53 to get taken out. So I've got all my levels. The daily ATR, the full session 20 period average true range is running at 43.39. So the daily upside ATR target is all the way up here at 27.93.50. I've got to make an adjustment on the downside because we just did make a new high, 27.60.50. So our daily downside ATR is 27.17.25, one tick below this naked VPOC right here. And then our week open is 27.88.75. It is Friday. It is quad witching. So I'm going to be watching very closely where critical mass is. And critical mass right now, with one session to go of 43.39, take that off of the week open at 27.88.75. Our critical mass is just below us at 45. So if we get below the over-under line that I'm using at 48, that's the microcomposite value area low and a key CLVN. If we get below that, I'm going to be looking for them to come down and test this weak low down here. When I say weak, I mean it is weak as in not strong, and it is weak as in it is our weekly low right now. So if we get below this 45, this becomes very critical here today. If we get below that, we could see a bigger move down towards that non-farm payroll, scene of the crime, and a move down to test some of these lower levels. Maybe even the month open. But anything can happen on quad witching. There's going to be a lot of games played. My advice to you is to trade early, lock the profits, and then lighten up and be careful coming late into the day, as things could, some games could be played and some moves coming out of nowhere as they try to pin this in one direction or the other. So in terms of my hypotheses, my hypo 1 is an open auction in range, in value, a move down towards the 54 and somewhere between the 54 and the 50. I'm looking for buyers to step in, base, and then start moving our way back up towards that 65, 67 area. I'm not expecting in my hypo 1 and hypo 2 a whole lot of range today because we've seen this compression. But we have to recognize when we go into hypo 3 and hypo 4. But let me get hypo 2 out of the way. Hypo 2 is an open auction in range, a push up into the 63 to 67, failure to get out of the prior day range, then rotate us down into that 54, chop here, and then get a push down towards this 45, and get a late day probe down into this 39, then base, and start working our way back up and coming back in and closing somewhere in around the 53, 54. That is hypo 2. Hypo 3 is going to be a failure day because we've had 2 down days. So failure to break out of the prior day range and move down into the 45, chop between the 45 and the 50, and then fail, come down into the 39, chop here, and then fail again and push down towards the month open down here in the 27.23, possibly even back down into the VPOC on a late day flush into the close. Remember, our daily ATR is down here, so we have we have range capabilities to get down into the 27.17 area without violating the 20 period average true range. Hypo 4 is a open auction, open rejection reverse. They push down into the 53, 54, find buyers right away, rotate us up into the 65, 67, fight the 67 level, and then break out and push up into the 79 area up here, maybe even a late day probe up into the 27.86, and maybe try to fight the week open. But it looks like we're going to get a negative week this week, and that's why my bias overall is going to be to the short side, anything below 48, especially if we get below 45. Below 45, I think that hypo 3 is going to kick in and we get a bigger move down. Going to gold, well, gold just keeps holding that 14 level and then bouncing. I'm amazed that it keeps bouncing off of this 14 level. Let's see, 3 tests down. I thought the last one down I was looking for a break last night to get below, and it only got down to 1350, and then bounced, and here we are, right back in that balance again between 18 and 22. So nothing changes in gold. Waiting for that to break out above the 29 60, below the 14, and otherwise probably going to chop in here some more. Below, we're targeting 1303.60 and 1300. Anything below 98.20, we're looking for the bigger move down to the 1284.90, the composite VPOC going all the way back to 2008. And above the 29.50, a breakout of value into price discovery gives us a strong move up into the 39 and 42. Anything above 49, the big target above, still up at the 1357. So that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.